Hey guys, it's Kip here from KDC Marketing, and in today's video, I want to talk about the most common issues that I see when people start using Wix Studio. So the first issue is responsive design. A lot of people struggle with getting their website to look good across all devices on desktop, tablet, and mobile. Another one is getting elements to be laid out correctly and spaced correctly within their sections. So this has to do with docking, padding, and margins, and making sure everything is spaced just right, and setting the responsive behaviors so that things work as the website scales through those different breakpoints. Another one that is really common is getting the menu to work correctly. The menu on Wix Studio is very confusing, and in order to get it to work correctly, you have to know how to add pages, add sub pages, and make sure that you're editing the right element within the editor. You're doing the menu container or menu items or sub menu containers, sub menu items, those kind of things. You have to make sure you're editing the right thing. And then again, you have a responsive component to this, making sure your mobile menu and tablet, the mobile menu on tablet and mobile are working correctly. Another thing that is very common is people can see the value of Wix CMS, the content management system, but they don't know how to use it. So they don't know how to set it up. They don't know how to create those collections and connect elements to the collections and get their data sets working on certain pages, or just to create dynamic content in general. And that's because there is a ton of value in Wix CMS if you know how to use it. And so you have to understand those basic building blocks of how to set it up, how to connect it, and how to make sure that it's working on all your different pages. Another thing that is really common is the apps. So a lot of people have an issue with the apps because they don't know what the different Wix Business Solution apps are. So there are apps like the Wix Bookings app, the Plans and Pricing app, there's the blog app, there's the FAQs app, there's the online store, the e-commerce app. There's a bunch of these apps that Wix has that if you understand what they can do and how you can use them, then it makes your project go so much easier. So a lot of the questions that I get is, I want to set up this kind of thing. How do I do it? And there's already an app for that, but they didn't know that there was an app for it. There's also other apps you can integrate in the app store or the app market that you can add to your website to make it that much better. So those are some of the most common issues that I see, and it's those basic fundamental things. It's responsive design, it's getting your layout and spacing done correctly, getting your menu to work, adding CMS to your website and making sure that works correctly, and then adding the Wix Business Solutions on top of that, because usually there's some kind of function that needs to happen on the website. People want to have an online store, for example, or they want to have an online program, an online course, or they want to have a form using the Wix forms and they want to generate leads. So there's all kinds of different use cases for the website, and usually you're going to be using one of those apps to perform that different function that you need. And so if you understand the apps and how they work and how to set them up on the back end and on the front end, you're going to be that much further along than most people. So I mention these things because I see them come up all the time when I talk with people, and people ask me questions about Wix all the time. And a lot of it is about these basic things, and that really they're the foundation of being able to be successful on Wix Studio. There are advanced features, they have advanced animations and other things that you can do that are really cool, but if you can't do these basic things, then it gets really frustrating really quickly. And this is where people will spend hours messing with a responsive behavior or their layout, their docking and padding and margins, and still can't figure it out. And I know this from my own personal experience. When I first started on Wix Studio, that's what it was like for me. I didn't know how to use it, and so I just got really frustrated and overwhelmed, and I would stop using it. And so now that I figured out how to use some of these things and do these basic fundamental things, it's totally changed how I use Wix Studio and how I teach it, and how I'm able to build websites faster now with Wix Studio than the Wix editor. So if you're interested in learning more about Wix Studio, And jumping over these hurdles that most people run into, I have an online course called Mastering Wix Studio, which is designed to do this exact thing, to take these basic elements and help you master the fundamentals so that you can do those things really well. And then, of course, you can get to the advanced features and the other great things that Wix Studio has to offer. But if you can do those things really well, you'll be miles ahead of most people who start on Wix Studio and then give up because they don't have the basics. They haven't mastered the basics. So I hope you found this video helpful. And if you're new to Wix Studio, watch out for those things, those common issues, and do your best to get started on the right path from the beginning. So that's what I have for today's video, and I will see you in the next video.